What is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. I own a business and I got interested in 3D printing, and I thought maybe I can make some money out of this. So I'm trying it at home first. I'm learning about 3D printers. All your tips, tricks, and suggestions certainly help out. So come along in this journey with me. It's just exhibition, not instructional. Maybe you can learn something from my mistakes. I do some giveaways from time to time. Subscribe to the channel and let's go. So what am I working on today? Well, if you saw yesterday, the past few videos, you know, I'm focusing in on some sort of different things, going some different directions. I'm always trying to keep it fresh, at least for the media aspect of things. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the world today. All right, some basic stuff up here on the Soval. We're doing some more rollers. This is the one that I'm printing now. This is the revised version of this roller, which is a model that's downloadable. This is my version, which is basically the same, but black and pink. So doing some more arms and legs up there. Same thing down here on Cobra number 4. Over here on Cobra number 3, successfully so far, knock on particle wood, of our second skull attempt. You may have remembered that I was talking about doing a bunch of different types of skulls and listing them on my art Etsy. So this is a saber-toothed cat skull, but it's really big. So I'm trying to make it as big as I possibly can on the Cobra. No chance of this going into oversized shipping charges. My biggest concern is these organic supports, which are kind of required for this model. I can't really get away with normals on this. And I'm doing it in black. Eventually I'll do it in either bone PLA or just straight up white, because I'm not trying to do a painting anymore, or as little as I possibly have to. So this is really just a test, burning up a couple spools here, but it's coming out okay. So over here on the P1P, you can tell I just started the print on this. It's only been going for like 30 minutes or something, and it's already having problems, and I was afraid it would, because every time I try to run silk, a multicolor print using silk in the P1P with the AMS, it always seems like there's some kind of problem. Now I set the parameters in the AMS to run it hot. I set it to generic PLA silk. Maybe I should just switch it to Bambu silk so it like figures it out. But I set the temperature high based on like the millimeters per second rating. This is Sunlu silk, and also some brand I've never heard of. It's called Giant Arm silk. It hasn't gotten into the blue yet. I'm doing my PAL Sphere phone holder, if you saw a few episodes back, because I finally got these silks in and I wanted to do a silk version of it because it's shinier and cooler. But already it's twice the printer stopped because of, like, it says AMS overload, and I came in here and messed with it, and it didn't seem like it was overloaded, but just kind of watching the print, it's like it'll glob up very easily, and when it does its purge, it's like it purges a little bit and then the purge turns into something else entirely. And then I've already got, I'm gonna have to stick my hand back here to get this, a piece of, it's like a piece of a purge kind of hanging back there. Now it's running now, and I'm burning up the remainder of this spool of it before I get into a fresh spool. And that's kind of by design as well, to kind of test this, because I've had let's just say I've had not good success with silks in the P1P so far. But I'm into the second layer, and I've been kind of watching it a little bit. It seems good enough, but yeah, I don't know. I think I may need to do a little more research on running silks through the AMS unit. I don't know if it's an AMS issue or just the settings on the silk is wrong. And I don't think it's a speed issue, because this is only the first layer, and the first layer is slower. So, you know, well, maybe we'll find out. You know, hopefully I can catch it before like I end up wasting a lot of filament. But that's the name of the game. I'm learning. And down here on the Giga, that's right, we finished up the last part of our T-Rex head. I left the jaw on here because, you know, I like to do the plate pulls live for everybody to watch. I got the big section inside. We're gonna take it into the office and join it up and see how it all joins together, or if it joins together. So let's pull this sucker off the plate. All right, so let's take off our shield here. See how it looks thus far. Now, it's been sitting for a good number of hours. It'd be nice if I actually pointed the camera at it. Oh, can I reach? There we go, that's better. All right, so it should just come off like butter, like nothing at all. So let's take this in the office and see how bad it is. All right, and so this is the main skull section that we took off the plate. yesterday. So this one I did with 2 wall loops and like 1 or 2% infill triangles, I think, not gyroid. I think I'm just gonna stick to gyroid for any sort of organic print moving forward. It just seems to work the best. So this one I did notice while it was printing, and this is after the flow test and everything with those flow settings, a little bit of I don't want to say separation, but I guess because of only 2 wall loops, kind of on some of these steeper, because it sits like this, as it moves up, some kind of like separate, or not separation, but like gaps, or really. So maybe, you know, that kind of, when I saw that, I was like, okay, let's just do 3 wall loops. Let's bite the bullet and, you know, expend the extra filament to do it. It's still solid. It's very solid. No issue whatsoever. Now, this is a smaller version of the big T-Rex head that I did many videos ago. Again, with the thinking of like, you know, I can fit this in a box and avoid oversized shipping charges. And I was kind of playing with the dimensions. So I'm actually going to measure this up and see what size box I think I'm going to need for it. And that way for future iterations, because this one I might just put in my store as sort of a decoration, or, you know, buy it off the shelf for $100 or something like that. Because I really want to get the biggest T-Rex skull I can that ships in a standard size, not oversized shipping box. So this is the top section. Again, came out pretty good. I mean, it's layer lining. It's a 0.7 layer height, but very solid. And the jaw section seems to have come out better with that with the 3 wall loops there. Not seeing any of the gapping on here. It's a little stringy between the teeth, but I guess that's to be expected. Running it at 220 at Telugu Rapid PLA Plus if you want to buy any, link in the description below. Doesn't cost you any more, but I get a little bit of a commission, so that's nice because we all want math to make money, don't we? So it looks pretty good on the overhangs too, and that's kind of always one of the areas that I've been funny about, because this model sits flat like this, and so this is kind of a long overhang section here, but it came out just fine. Again, 0.7 layer height, so I'm not really fussing over fine detail. And the bridging here maybe a little, but again, it's a real big model. It's a real thick layer height. The teeth are sharp for real. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Should snap. Let's snap it in. Watch me break it. I'm gonna break it right now, live on camera. Live 3D print break. That was a good skull break. With the Beck references, sheesh. All right, so here it is. That makes for a good thumbnail. Hang on, let me get a good thumbnail. All right, good thumbnail, good thumbnail. All right, so that's destined for the store. Let's measure her up and see how big she is. That was a good drum break. Or does he say that's a good drum beat? Is it beat or break? Vote now on your phones. Now that I'm here, I'm looking at it from a different angle. The bridgings on some of these, a little, a little not bad, but less than desirable. And again, maybe the 3 wall loops would help out on that. Maybe I need to kind of ignore the results of that flow test and just up the flow rate a little more than it actually is. Either way, we're gonna see how much bigger we can go. This is 400% original, and this came out to, let's just say I'm gonna need a box that's, let's just say 30, 30, 20, 30, 20, 24. Let's just, to be comfortable, 30, 20, 20, that wasn't even on camera. 30, 20, 24. So we know that oversized kicks in at 30, 30, 20. This is 30, 24, 20, I think I said. So we're well in underneath the size for oversized shipping. But we're getting kind of close. It looks like we have about, I don't know, I can do the math there, I'll do the math, but like, the dimensions in any one way, let's just say it has to be 80. So that was 30, 24, 20. So let's just say 6 inches. We can go 6 inches one way or the other. As we increase the length, the other dimensions expand as well. So, maybe we can squeeze out another like 2-3 inches out of it over the, I guess, the length, which is like the defining measurement of it. So I'll probably play around with that a little more. But because this one's a little funky, I guess, on some of those overhangs, I'm gonna pop this one in the store. UJoy Bios filaments due probably this week as well. Christmas is this week, so I'm not sure if it'll actually come through. But when that comes in, we're going to do the Moai head with the U-Joy biofilament as big as we can possibly do it. And so that'll tie up the Giga for some time, but you know, maybe I can squeeze out another, because each one of these sections, the main skull section only takes a day. The lower jaw section is less than that, like 18 hours or something like that. So it's really only 2 days to stamp one of these out. And again, if that's like a $200 print on Etsy, you know, shipping, let's say 50 bucks for shipping, just on the high end. You know, that's within filament cost, it's like 2 kilos roughly of filament. So yeah, there's money to be made there for sure. Very impressive model. You know, I'd like to see more skulls like this, you know, in that large size, even if they're not life size. So, you know, if you did I don't want to say a dog or a cat skull, that's morbid. How about a human skull? A baby skull? If you made one that was bigger than it actually was, you know, it's still kind of impressive and striking if it was just like a big oversized version of it. So going to be looking into that more. Probably take this out to the store along with those bogus Moai heads that I printed and just see what comes of it, because I think maybe $200 is a lot more appealing to people, and you kind of get the same sense of size out of that as you do the super huge version, because that's really big. That one's just, you know, a larger, but the price difference of what I can offer this at versus that super huge one is extreme. So I think maybe there's more volume potential in that one. So I'm going to continue to be doing some concepts there. Also been speaking with some other creators on like their ideas and feedback, so I can steal their ideas. I'm pretending to be friends with them so I can steal their ideas. That's exactly what I'm doing here. And if you're not catching the sarcasm there, there's a door right over there. Speaking with some other creators, links in the description below. Designs by Brodhead, spoke to him briefly. He's got some great ideas, and again, you know, he's going that sort of very basic route, the route that I had referenced previously, that I just can't, you know, it just doesn't pop up in my mind to print things like snowman coasters, and that's what he's printing a lot of right now. Is Christmas, obviously. But that's just kind of a great exercise to, you know, kind of look around and see what people are doing, and not to go down that same path and print coasters, but, you know, just kind of look around at things that I wouldn't ordinarily even think of, because it's just kind of this boring, ubiquitous thing that, you know, is just kind of around and I don't even use them, but, you know, hey, you could 3D print it because somewhere out there is a middle-aged Facebook mom that really wants snowmen coasters. So I aim to serve all people, because that's just me. I care about all people. So it's kind of opening up my mind a little bit to certain things. I've got some other ideas for some functional prints that I think might be successful, but I haven't begun the process on it because they require additional components. And that's another thing too. I think I'm just gonna have to commit to 3D printing being the chief component of any product that I bring to market, instead of it just being the entirety of the product. So for instance, like the crypto mining shrouds, that's the entirety of the product. But you know, if I was able to print some sort of product where the main body was made of a 3D printed component and it required heat set inserts or a spring or a screw or a widget or an electronic component or something like that, I think that's probably the real ticket, because that opens up the possibilities immensely, and you know, it's unlimited what you could possibly make out of that. It's just you kind of fall into, I feel, in my opinion, you kind of fall even deeper into that conundrum of what to print, because that's the main question everybody asks: what do I print? And so I think my mindset has been stuck completely and totally in what can I sell, what can I print and sell. That is just, I print it, take it off the plate, pack it and ship it. And now it's like, you know, I can print any number of things because I'm adding all these, you know, prefab components into it. Things I go to Lowe's and get some kind of widget or whipsy doodle, whatever, that incorporates into the 3D print to make the product, and then that is the product. So I'm getting into post-production there, but, you know, in terms of functional prints, I don't mind that as much because that's a product people need. I think there's more potential there. And I don't really see a lot of opportunity in art prints that have, you know, things bolted onto them to make them appealing to a wider audience. It's much more in the functional print category, which is where ultimately I'd like to gravitate to, but again, not ruling anything out. So working on some ideas there. Obviously going to get some more skulls going. Looking forward to the U-Joy Bio order. My massive Elegoo order is a couple, I guess we'll be dribbling in over the course of the next week. I'm not sure if they're going to send it on a pallet, but I mean, it was, I don't know how many kilos it is. I'd imagine it's over 100, 150, maybe 200 kilos that I got. I don't recall. A lot of 5 kilogram spools, a lot of single kilogram colored spools, just so I have something to pull from, because you know I burn through filament pretty quick. So it just made sense to kind of just get it in a bulk shipment and go from there. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on all this, or you know, what direction I'm going and how you would proceed, what you think I should do. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.